Welcome to the It's Your RV podcast. It's hosted by Keith Shoemaker, co-owner of Redlands Truck and RV, and Brad Kilgore, owner of Custom Shops Marketing. We created this show to connect the RV repair world, provide trusted resources if you're starting a repair shop or you're just trying to grow one. It's also a great resource for RV owners to find out the latest developments in the industry. This podcast dives deep below the typical surface level content that you may be used to seeing. Listen to our show on all streaming platforms. And if you have any questions or need a referral, reach out to us. We'll be glad to help. All right. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Brad Kilgore here with It's Your RV podcast show. Got Keith Shoemaker here from Redlands Truck and RV. How you doing, Keith?
Good, man. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I guess it is still morning, huh?
Probably 9:30, I think here.
Right. Awesome. So, we've had a couple of episodes now, and we've touched on a lot of different things. And I think today what we determined was some really good things to talk about with springtime coming up, with RV season kicking into gear for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the time to really start thinking about different things that you can do for your coach, whether it's safety wise, whether it's efficiency wise, whether it's energy wise. There's so many different things that you can do. And we, as RV owners, we're married to these things. We love them so much. We want them to be as amazing as they can be. So there's just a lot of things that for me, I didn't even know about at different times of my RV career, so to speak, of the different things that I could do to make it better, more effective, more efficient. So I'm gonna let Keith kind of jump in and talk a little bit about different things, whether it's generators, solar, lithium, all the different things that are available out there, and then go
Mm-hmm.
from there.
Well, first of all, we should do one of everything.
Right.
I think about springtime and I think about where we're at right now. We came from a pretty good winter, and Brad, where you're at in Colorado, I know there's some more snow on the ground there. But I'm hoping our customers look at springtime as the opportunity to maybe take a little bit deeper dive into their RV and take a look at a couple of things that are important. I think these things are important because they deal with your safety. And what I like about them is it's something that you can do for your coach yourself. I have a seminar that I do, and actually today I'm driving about an hour and a half, 2 hours away to Hemet, California, and I'll be doing a seminar down there for a group that we've supported for many years. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about is safety devices. Springtime's a good time to take a look at your safety devices. The customer, the people that I'll be talking to today have coaches that are 2005 to brand new, to 2023, 2024 coaches. It'll be the customers that have the older coaches that I'll be saying, hey, you ought to really look at your propane detector, your smoke detector, any other safety NOx or any other device that you have in your coach for safety detection for your personal life. We ought to really look at. And the reason why is because there's an expiration date on most of them. And we don't know that as a coach owner, typically. But safety devices are a great thing to think about and to at least address in springtime. In our every time I talk about safety devices, I end up putting people to sleep in the seminar, and I get it. It's boring. It's not sexy, but it's extremely important. And I think even on par, possibly even more important, are fire extinguishers. Right now, most of our customers have one little fire extinguisher right by their front door in their coach. And if it's an '05 coach or an '07 coach, I'm guaranteeing you it's the same non-serviceable all plastic fire extinguisher that came from the dealership when you bought it or when someone bought it at the dealership. And the truth is the stuff inside that fire extinguisher is probably just a solid rock and not even functioning. And honestly, probably a quarter or more of the fire extinguishers that we look at, if they have a gauge, the gauge reads 0. So not only is the stuff solid in there, not effective, but it has no pressure anyway. So fire extinguishers are something that your coach needs. And what I would suggest is you put a large fire extinguisher by the front door, 2.5 pound, that can be serviced. You know, you can you can take it to a service fire extinguisher service company, and then put the same or maybe a little bit smaller fire extinguisher by your bed.
Right.
And the truth is that most motorhome fires are electrical. Um, to me, in my opinion, this means that you're parked at an RV park. If it's electrical, if it's caused by electrical, and you're probably asleep. So, bam, we've got an alarm, hopefully, that goes off and says, hey, honey, something's wrong. What you really are going to be doing is fighting your way to the front of the RV. So, you need to have a good fire extinguisher so you can get to the front of the RV and you can get out. Your job as an RV owner, if it's on fire, is not to save your RV, because you will not. Your job is to save your life and your partner, your pet, your whatever, but to make sure there's no loss of life based on this event. RVs, when they go up, unfortunately, it's not good.
Right.
Do we see a lot of RV fires at our shop? Absolutely not. Do we have they happened at our shop? Nope, we don't have them burned down. Knock on wood, all that good stuff. Are people talking to us about, oh my God, my RV burst into flames? No, it's not. It's nothing of that nature. But springtime is a great time to get prepared and to really take a good hard look at what we're doing. Hey, is this your last trip and you're trading it in tomorrow? Okay, don't do all this stuff. I get it. I'm fine. I understand. But if we're going to be living in it and parked and trusting other people's electrical wiring or other people's, RV park structure that we don't know about, then we better be ready. And I think this is a great way to get ready.
Well, and I think too, if your smoke alarm is beeping and you're lazy and you're like, well, I'm just gonna take it down and take the battery out and I'll deal with it later. Don't do that.
No,
If
not
you
an
have to take
RV.
it down for the night, whatever, but get a 9-volt battery and put the dang thing back together.
Yeah, our here at home, smash burgers are my favorite, and my wife loves making them because it's popular. But I tease her. I say, "Hey, the burgers are ready because the smoke alarm's going off." It's predictable. If this happens in an RV, I would not disable it and remove it. I would address what's going on. And a lot of the detectors are picking up invisible things. I'm not a scientist, but invisible smoke and stuff that we can't see that technology that saves our life. Gives us a warning.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And there are different detectors. Some are wired in your RV, and they have a date on them as well. Some have a battery only. They obviously have a date, but all these detectors have a date.
They always start chirping in the middle of the night, no matter which one.
Yep, and what a good reason to go replace it. Or if one of them's chirping, then get all of your detectors. Propane's typically down by your feet because, as it's been explained to me, propane's a heavier gas and it sinks. So we don't want that to build up and get near a flame source and explode. So it's down low, so it tells you early that there's a propane problem. Usually with a propane detector, when it fails, then a lot of it's the way it's been explained to me on most coaches is that it's supposed to interrupt the flow of propane and not allow you to use any propane appliance until you get the detector fixed. So that can be an issue too.
Exactly.
Anyway, springtime's a good time to just be safe, and then hopefully you don't have to worry about it all year, and you get to start your travels and boogie oogie. Here's the other thing: if the thing's been parked over winter and it got winterized, then it needs to be unwinterized. We're on the West Coast, and that doesn't really. I mean, except for some of our mountain regions, that doesn't. Embarrassing. I'm embarrassed actually. If a customer asked us to winterize the coach, we would have to look it up, how to do it correctly and make sure we're doing it the way we're supposed to. We don't winterize on a regular basis where we're at.
Some are simpler than others. I know when I had a smaller coach, it wasn't that challenging to do it, to winterize it, to unwinterize it, and what have you. But
Yep.
as I got a more higher level coach that had washer and dryer and ice maker and some of these other features,
Yeah.
it worked to doing it.
And and that goes that leads right to Redlands Truck and RV and the Grove. Imagine having a nice coach, which that means you're probably typically our customer. Imagine you're living in it. That's and you're on the West Coast, and you're coming from British Columbia on down to Mexico or Arizona or something. That's our customer, and we understand this, coach, and we get it, and we want to help you as well. Take really good care of it. And you know what? We've seen it's your only coach, but we see thousands of them, so we know what things that we can talk to you about and what you should be looking at, and that sort of thing.
Right. Well, I think too, when you're looking at kind of springtime safety, you have to start thinking about maintenance stuff too. I mean, it's important if you have a built-in generator, for example, to make sure that that thing is you've got it serviced, you've been exercising it, you've been doing these different things for maintenance and safety. Because if you don't, in my case, I had a high-end 8,000 watt generator. If you don't take care of that thing, it's gonna have problems.
Yep.
You got to take care of them. And there's lots of options for generators, as you know.
Yep. And here on the West Coast, it's a great idea, as probably anywhere in the world, is it's good to have a backup source in case of an emergency. And it's, again, I go back to some of my courtside conversations, and I talk to people about keeping their coach fuel when they full of fuel, full of water. Uh, huh? I'm like, hey man, when the big earthquake comes or when the tornado hits or whatever, this is probably one of your one or two options that are going to get you over this next week or two hump where there's no water, no heat, no cooling, no power. So this is a safety device that we should take care of. Uh, and summertime is no different than springtime in terms of being appropriate. But what summertime brings is temperatures for us, and temperatures are tough on batteries. They're tough on cooling systems. They're tough on a couple other things. And again, we go back to maintenance. This would be a good time to get a lot of that done.
Yeah.
You're talking generators, and I appreciate that. We just brought in a new line of RVMP, their handheld stuff. We debuted it at Quartzsite, and the truth is we've never really had a line of carry out generators that we felt comfortable with that we were able to offer our customers. And the new line from RVMP is practically identical to all of the other generator companies offerings that are out there, from the big boys to the offshore, little known ones, or the um, TikTok shop type. Why is this generator $100 and everybody else's is $1,200? We have a generator that we feel comfortable with, that works, that's supplied to us by a local trusted supplier, and we're excited to be able to offer that to our customers.
Well, they're just good, solid generators. I really like the remote start. I know all of them didn't have it, but there was
Yeah.
one or two that had the remote key fob
Yep.
start. It was pretty cool.
Yep. Yep. And I think that as more we understand what's coming, which is called, as consumers, it's called solar electric. Everybody you can complain about an electric car or truck or whatever you want, but the world is coming. Whether you wanted to or not, you've been made uh, you've been made party to the selection that we're going to solar electric, and generators have a role in solar electric as a backup. And the truth is that even on your motorhome, if we do a couple of our big lithium batteries, and maybe an extra panel or two up on the roof, that we can really make this coach survive for, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 7 days without running a generator. Yeah, we need to have some sun. Yeah, we need to, cut down on our usage. We can't leave our lights on and leave the TV on and, you know, have 3 or 4 residential refrigerators. But you know what? With today's new lithium battery, there's the opportunities are almost limitless what we can do.
Tell you what,
And yeah, and speaking of camping, my wife and I just went with our grandkids last weekend locally. I never once ran the generator. She's like, "Oh, hey, can you start the generator? I got to do the." Nope, babe, watch this. Bink. Turn my inverter. We got lithium batteries in. This is an old coach. This is in 2001 Winnebago Adventure. We put our lithium batteries from RVMP in, and my guys, it's got enough power where we can run the microwave. I can't run the roof air, but
right.
I can run the microwave. So she's heating stuff up for the grandkids. It's morning. It's great. And how wonderful. All of my dry camping experiences, which are most of my camping experiences, have been with, hey, man, I want some coffee in the morning or, whatever. She was doing cinnamon rolls and she wanted to heat them up. And I go, I get it. Yeah, no problem. Whammo, they're heated up. And we didn't have to start the generator. Typically, we're parked in a group of people, out in a dirt area, and we're riding dune buggies or motorcycles or whatever's going on. And the last thing you want to listen to at 7 a.m.
Generator.
is someone's generator or the third person's generator or the fourth person's generator. Now you get this generator drone, and I got it. I wish lithium batteries came into price as they have lately, favorable, much sooner. It would have made our life as RVers and as RV repair people much easier. If you're considering anything to do with any of your onboard battery systems, I'm not saying that you should go get lithium, but I'm saying that you should pay it really hard. You owe it to yourself to really do your investigation and do the math. 2 good AGM batteries that give you 500 amp hours. Let's be realistic. That give you 300 amp hours are close to $1,000. 2 batteries, AGM, good technology, lasts about 10 years typically. Well, for $1,000, I can get you probably twice that much just from one lithium battery in terms of usable energy. And my math is off and such, but in the end, it's making much more sense to take a good hard look at lithium versus all the other battery choices that are out there. Is AGM bad and you shouldn't do it? No, not at all. It's a great battery. I like it, and we sell a boatload of Lifeline AGM batteries. It's a great battery. I feel comfortable with it. Our customers don't need to add water. It doesn't corrode. But again, what we say is one lithium battery gives you typically about what 2 or 3 AGMs give you.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, at this point, it's the prices are coming down on all of it. And you see some of
Yep.
these things where, if you're going to be out there dry camping or boondocking for a while,
Yep.
it makes sense a lot of times to get a setup with a couple of lithiums and a nice inverter and some solar panels and then of course if you have a generator built in or what have you, I mean, you can go, you're gonna fill your tanks quicker than you're gonna run out of energy.
And so on my coach, always, especially when we were heavily going into our local desert and dune buggying, I do that. I haven't done that as much lately, but when we were going, we were going 10 or 15 times a season, which was pretty much every weekend or every other weekend in the winter. I almost never ran on my other coach that I had, which was a 05 or 06 Winnebago. I would never run the large generator, the gas 5,000, 6,000 Onan. I would run my little, small, portable, handheld generator because it was quieter. it used less fuel, and it did what I wanted to do, which was top my batteries off. So
Yep.
that's why I'm excited about the little handhelds that we're carrying. You know, we've got a 2200, we got a 3300, and then they go to a 4300, and then there's an even larger one after that. But those three models are all able for you to be able to carry and to be able to stick in a compartment and have it run, be a great working alternative, and in this case, a backup.
Yeah. Huge. Very important to
I,
have.
I know it's frustrating when customers get out somewhere dry camping, they go to start their generator that's on board and it doesn't start. They get mad and frustrated, and that affects their weekend. They can't run air conditioning, or they can't run their microwave. They can't recharge their batteries.
Well, and there's
They may have to leave early.
yeah.
But
Well,
if
there's
you got
even
a
way,
little if you got a little handheld that we're selling, bam, pull that sucker out, fire it up, save the day, save the weekend at least.
sure. Well, and there's ways to, even if you're going to go big, with lithium and all the different things, there's ways you can get a soft start on your AC and different things where you truly
Mhm.
can run it all if you
Mhm.
want to invest into the power plant.
Yep. And the truth is, with us, the majority of our customers are RV park customers.
Sure.
But the other truth about us is we have a ton of customers. So we have a good portion that are weekend warriors, that are local, and that, they're tired of having issues, battery issues when they go camping with their kids and their friends. And they want a solution, and they don't want to be the person that has to start the generator every hour or every day and run it for hours and hours on end. I hate
I do too.
that.
It kind of ruins the vibe,
Well,
right?
then you got to tell the camp host to come talk to space number 25 over. They started it up early and ran it late, and it smells. And anyway,
Yeah, it can be super annoying. Uh, Um, yeah, it's amazing all the different technologies that are coming down the road. Like I say, for me, after having, lithium and solar and high-end generator, I could never
Mhm.
go back to having a simplified version, It just
Yeah.
it's one of those things that once you've got it, man, it's like this is a game changer.
And hey, if you do have flooded or wet batteries, a Trojan, or the one from Costco or whatever, it's absolutely good. No, it's not a problem. No one's making fun of it. No one's calling it anything other than what it is. It's a wet battery that's older technology, and really all you got to do is just keep them full, and you got to keep them clean. So it's totally doable. There's no reason, just because you have a older technology, that you should instantly go out and get something that's of new. Make it really all this kind of stuff. What I want is, I want it to solve a problem. Hey man, I'm tired of the heater. Here's the real bummer: is if you got kids, a wife, whatever, a partner, and your heater goes out at 3 in the morning when it's dropped 8 degrees outside or 10 degrees outside. That's a bummer not to have a heater, and to have it every single time you go out. Let's solve a problem by upgrading some technology. And that's it. And now, hey man, I'm happy. My heater stays on all night. Okay, we don't need to do anything else. How did I solve that? We put in a good AGM battery, and maybe we added one or two more components or something. But anyway,
Right.
I love it when we solve problems for customers and we make their trips more enjoyable and safer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think one of the other things we were kind of started off with safety and comfort and some of these things. What was the other ones that you guys really promoted? Was it MCD shades? Is that how you say it?
MCD, yep, out of McKinney, Texas. We do a ton of shade work. The boys, Octavio, Eddie, they're constantly making custom balances and either putting shades all the way across. We call them cockpit. That's your front windshield. That's one solid shade coming down. You have a day night behind that, so you can open it in the afternoon, evenings, and you can see outside, but people can't really see inside. The thing that shocks me the most about MCD shades is something I got to experience myself. I had them in my coach, my 05 Winnebago, And I went down to Oceanside one August, and it was unseasonably hot even down there. Oceanside, California, supposed to be 80, 75 degrees every single day of the year, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. It was hotter than heck. And it was muggy, and it was honestly outside, it was unpleasant. You would go inside my coach, and I swear it was a 30-degree drop in temperature. It was probably 5 or 10, but it was because of the MCD shades that there was such a huge drop. And the inside of my coach was so much more comfortable and enjoyable than outside. And honestly, this was before I had turned my air conditioner on in the late mornings. I remember getting up, going for a walk at the beach or whatever, coming back and going, yeah, it's warm out here. Wham, go inside the coach. Man, it's pleasant. And it definitely because of the insulating value of the MCD shades. And nobody talks about that enough
Right.
on the
Well,
on
it
that
takes
on that particular type of shade.
right. Well, it takes a strain off of your AC if you can keep it cooler in the coach to begin with.
Yep. And also, and not to make fun of anybody else's product, but now you're not on the outside of your coach. You're not climbing around this thing trying to throw this cover over a window. And you only got one or two of the windows versus MCD shades. We can treat every single window in your coach.
Yep.
And the other ones that are installed from the outside, whichever way they get installed, to me require a ladder, which I don't want my customers on a ladder. I don't even want to be on a ladder, and I just turned 60. Um, and there's issues what happens in the wind with external devices. Are they flapping? Do they stay in place? We're not certain. Hey, mine took off and took my wipers with it, those sorts of things. So that's why we really love and support the MCD shade that's inside your coach, doesn't require you to get on a ladder, works every single time, and we're able to treat every window in your coach.
Right.
Typically, we're parked, east or west, and that sun is hitting that whole side of that coach. And it's nice to be able to unshade, or to fire your shades up and get all that side nice and cool.
Oh yeah, game changer for sure.
Yep.
Absolutely. Is there
I bet in our shop at any time there's 4 or 5 coaches in there that we're doing either a full cockpit, that's all the windows up front, or we're doing the entire coach.
right, right. These are all huge things that people should be aware of. I mean, like we talked about earlier, some of this is just educational of what's out there and what can help you and
Mm-hmm.
what can save you time, energy, money, whatever it is. And I encourage anybody to set an appointment at Redlands and find out some of the things maybe you don't know about.
Yep. Or go online and look it up, and become a professional question asker. And here's the deal: if you're in some other area, I don't care where, and you have a good shop, have them call us, and we'll help them. We'll be polite and pleasant, and we'll have a professional, helpful conversation with them. And we've done this in the past and said, hey, can we supply you with shock absorbers? Or so it usually is a real good thing. And I encourage my customers, if it's time for your springtime maintenance or whatever, either go to your trusted shop, or let's find you a trusted shop. And for them, if a shop tells a customer, oh, that's silly, or don't do that, or I wouldn't do this, or I wouldn't do that, maybe that helps them make their decision quicker, easier, simpler. I don't know. But we want shops that are open-minded and that want to share with you products and services that make your trip more reliable, less stressful, more enjoyable, all that stuff. And I know personally, when all the stuff works on the coach, it's a whole lot less stressful. This past weekend, camping with the kids, I say, hey, babe, we got hot water? She goes, I didn't check. I turned the hot water on. The burner would come on and goes right out. Boom, boom. Did it 2 or 3 times, and it never came back on again. I went, I'm camped out here with my wife and grandkids, and I don't have hot water. Oh boy. And we were dry camping. So when I had a moment and we weren't putting air in tires or whatever. We were having fun riding motorcycles. I went over and messed with the heater, and whammo, it started working again. The only reason that I did that I did that is because I'm like, well, two reasons. One, I wanted it fixed, and two, I was embarrassed that I didn't have hot water as the owner of an RV maintenance and repair company. But I had the confidence to go and look at it myself because I've I've been able to talk to my guys and say, hey man, if something happens, and I did, I just started unplugging some wires, plugging them back in. Instantly starts making hot water. And here's the deal. It was nothing more than a connection that wasn't making a connection. It did not need Google. I did not need the internet. I didn't have to make an expensive phone call. I didn't have to make any appointments. I had the confidence to go over and mess with it myself. And that's what we want to do for our customers, man. We want to empower them to be able to enjoy their coach no matter what happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about it, it's a house on wheels that's traveling down the interstate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's I-10 or I-40. I can think of some
Yep.
that are really bumpy.
Yep.
And you get to your campsite, and sometimes stuff just gets rattled loose, and it's not
Yep.
broken, but
Yep.
it's just something that can be fixed pretty quickly.
And summertime's a good time for that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I think we covered a lot today for safety and cool upgrades and different things that people could really tune into of what they could do
Yep.
for their coach. So I
Yep.
think
Look it up and make sure you feel comfortable doing it yourself, customers. And if you don't, then Google it, YouTube it, and when you do that, you're going to get 32 of the wrong answers, but number 33 is going to be the one you want. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this person explained it to me in a way that I now understand. And we try to do that, but we know that we sometimes don't explain it well enough. So it's out there. The information's out there, and the ability to enjoy and have a great trip every single time is not something that's unrealistic. I think that we should all expect that our journey every single time is fun and trouble-free and full of wonderful memories.
absolutely, because it's all about having fun and making memories.
Yep.
So, all right, well, we'll wrap up It's Your RV, and we look forward to talking to everybody on the next time.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Guys. Thank you for listening to It's Your RV podcast. Our goal is that this information was helpful for you and that you will share and subscribe to our podcast. You can also follow us on our YouTube and social channels.